Good evening, everyone. This is Gil at Camppatton Family Compound, and with me tonight, as always, we have Tammy from Rebel Canners and Mark from Chef Tech. And it is the Monday Night Fireside Chat, and tonight's topic, first-time pressure canning. And that is not to be confused with that is not to be confused with the pressure of first-time water bath canning. All right, let's see who all's in here. I got some more people rolling in here, so I'll go up to the top here and start hitting them off. So Troop 1351 was first with the campfire and the skillet emojis. Then Walt Rogers, Shady Hill Homestead, Mother Earth Garden Club, Chef Tech. Penny Ortiz is in on your side there, Tammy. As is Mark as Mad Chick Acres. Galen Strain is here. Mother Garden Club. Everyone's top chit chat and get down here to where I get it past. Grammy Karen came in.
Hi, Grammy Karen.
And Tammy Harder's here. Lewis, it's the Marshmallow Man. Diana 2 is here. And so we got probably about a little more than half here chatting, and all of a sudden the number went from 20 down to 17.
That's because you didn't put the free StreamYard link up, and the trolls couldn't just try to hop in and do their thing.
Yeah, and of course the trolls aren't commenting either, so bye-bye, trolls.
Yes, if you're in the chat, always be sure to give a thumbs up and just make a comment. Just, I don't care, tell them people you're lurking.
Yeah, lurking is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Every time you put your thumb up, Tammy, you must be on your iPhone. Yep.
Yeah.
There it is again. Little
That's all right.
thumbs
It's
up.
good for Gil. It gives him credit.
All right, and where's the other one here? So lurking's fine. Hit the thumbs up, say hi, whatever. And I'll show you support for other panelists. Join their channels as well. All right, so tonight is for those that are like I was. Count back the time. I think it was November 23 when I did my first pressure canning.
Yep.
I grew up water bath canning. I can water bath in my sleep. And
you need to try to take a bath when you're awake, because I can smell you on the East Coast here. Okay. Anyway, you knock me out. Go ahead, throw me down in the bowels of hell again.
No. I'm just gonna suck you away.
That's for insects.
Relocate
them outside.
Oh, that's for insects. Okay.
It works on all pests.
This is for cleaning all the crumbs off of my desk here when I working hard and I bring my sandwich in here.
So Tammy, if I call your phone right now, your screen goes dead, right?
I know. You can. Gil gave me my number. I did it during Gil's live again. So, retired consumers energy plant is on fire. So my daughter decided to call me and tell me that it's on fire an hour and a half away from me.
It's like, great, thanks. You just kill, and I gotta log back in again.
Yeah. Oh, Angel's Homestead came in here as well, and okay, everyone else is just chit-chatting in the side chat. All right. So I've talked to I called my daughter after she took the kids back and we got all done. Oh, Mark fell out. He hit the wrong button. He's not even down below in the basement. He hit the wrong button.
I hope while you're out, you're starting to stream this to your channel, Mark, when you come back in.
So for those of you here that weren't in earlier, okay, on Harry comes back in. What you do, fat finger it?
No, I see when I'm running YouTube on one window and then StreamYard on the other. The StreamYard one, you glitch out constantly. Everybody does. So I'm like, screw something, but I clicked the wrong X and closed the StreamYard, not the YouTube. I'm back.
Yeah. All right.
Karma
So
guy.
earlier today, I did a canning on Gray Man Prepping, prepper pantry canning. And it was my first time actually canning food in the All-American that my wife was gifted. Now I did a test canning the day before, doing 2 jars of water to make sure there weren't any leaks, there wasn't any problems, because I also took out the petcock valve out of it and put in a jiggler. So, and everything worked perfect. So, but when I mentioned on that is that my daughter has a new canner. It is at Tefal, sitting up on her top shelf, and they had gone out to eat, so I'm not sure if they're back yet or not. So I couldn't tell her to come on here, but we'll see what happens. Yeah. Now I have sterile water. When I be able to bring in several of the cases of jars from the cargo container, I will do saline solution.
Yeah.
In pints.
Yes.
So, and see, just double checking anything we kind of skipped there. Okay, all right, let's make sure everybody's in. Okay. Yes, it can be. The first time it was kind of nerve-wracking. Fortunately, I had Tammy helping me on a live stream like we did today. But yeah, so I'm now up to 3 pints of beef broth, 3 pints of chicken broth. Not pints, sorry, quarts. Everything's quarts. So 3 beef broth, 3 chicken broth, 2 water, and
whole bunch of taco meat.
Yeah, I'm just so.
That wasn't today though.
That wasn't today. No, this is full. This is the total of overall. Shoot.
No, everything you've ever pressure canned.
Yeah. So 14 taco meat, and then 13 pints of cowboy beans.
Yeah. Hey, Tammy. It's so cute that he can still count everything he's canned, don't you think?
Now you want to talk about water bath? That is somewhere around 400 quarts of blackberry jam, 40, 50, 60 quarts of peaches, 200 quarts of pears.
And that's cute too.
I know.
You know what? Everybody got to start somewhere. We're proud of you, Gil, because that's awesome that you're doing that. And the more people can do it, the more food they can preserve. And
if you can just get 1 jar of something on your pantry and get started having a food storage and a working canning pantry.
However, you don't want to pressure can 1 jar only.
I know.
That's why I did 2 jars of water to test it. To test it.
I do it all the time. If I don't have enough to fill it up, it's like I just put a bunch of jars in there. I don't even seal them. I just put jars in there, fill them with water. That way, I just sterilize the jars again and pull them out and put them back in the box.
See, it takes as much room to store a full jar as it does an empty jar, Mark. So you could store that with water and then take them. Well, I guess you have water at your cabin, but I have a dry cabin.
I store my empty jars in boxes and crates in different parts of the house. The food and everything that's preserved is down on the shelves downstairs. I don't have room on the shelves for jars of water. I got 15-gallon barrels of water, which Gil reminded me a while back that, plastic barrels sitting on concrete full of water that are now 12 years old. Well, I can flush the toilet with them. That's about the only thing they're good for. My wife knows. I said, you ain't drinking it. Well, the ones that are stacked on top are probably okay. Turkey.
But the bottom is
the bottom one. No, that's toilet water.
Yeah. The one of the things to on all this is that it's the more you do it, easier it gets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Until you try something new. We also have Jack Geeky Gardens came in, and then Shirley Lee came in on your side there, Tammy.
Hi.
All right. Important things to remember. Come on. There it goes. Read the friggin' instructions, people.
RTFB. RTFB. That's my favorite saying at work because nobody reads it. They all call me to get the answer.
Second thing to do, follow the friggin' instructions.
To the letter. Like, don't vary on that. You really need, like any tool, you need to use it properly. And the pressure canner is a tool.
Mm-hmm.
And the food preservation part is the science. It's not art. Cooking is an art.
Yeah.
Canning and preserving is science, and it's dictatorial science. And I'll tell you, this is the only time these words will ever come out of my mouth. When it comes to canning times and pressures, the science is settled, people.
Yes.
That's it.
Yep.
I mean, they may try to change things in the future, but that's what Ball does because the FDA and things. But other than that, no, nothing's changed in 80, 90 years or since pressure canners
Since
have been
1972.
Yeah.
As far as the times and the pressure settings, nothing has changed since 1972. And that's just because of the quality of the food changed and they knew they needed to update it.
Yeah.
The
interesting thing is, as a side note here, and poking fun, I got a warped sense of humor, so here it comes.
Oh shit!
There may be some additions to things that have not been approved that will soon be approved because of certain things going on in this administration, and slapping the people around at USDA to get off their lazy butts and actually test things that they haven't approved yet.
That's probably going to take a few years. They're not going to update and add anything.
When Doge starts in auditing them.
Well, see, here's the problem. The people at the canning branch of the USDA have been working on a bare bones, there's not a penny for you at all budget. They had to practically take up a bake sale to get the latest USDA book printed out.
Yeah. Well,
I think most of that was because that is free to print on Amazon now. Yeah. Not because there was actually any USDA funding to print these books. That's the problem, is that branch does not have the funding.
Well, they may get the funding. They may get the funding to expand under this administration, but the people are going to get audited to see who's been dragging their feet on putting out proper information. Because look what happened to FDA General whatever her title was, Phyllis Fong. She's under arrest.
Well,
but I don't think that had to do with
don't threaten U.S. citizens and try to harm the nation's food supply. Yeah, that's not her job. Her job is the opposite. And I hope. I know this sounds really mean, but I hope she goes to Gitmo with the other terrorists. Because that's how I feel about her.
I'd like to see her go out on the boat for the cruise. Yeah. Anyways, all right. So, especially the times and pressures, and there should be an asterisk on here, adjusted for your altitude.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's important.
Yeah. Because for doing the taco meat, if I was at sea level, it would have been 10 pounds pressure. Up here at 4,000 plus feet, it's 12.5 pounds pressure.
Right. And I'm here in Michigan. I'm not in the big hills of the UP, just in regular old Michigan, it's 10 pounds of pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you don't, so you have to look at your altitude and then follow the chart put out, and it's in the USDA guidebook or the Ball Blue book. Both have it in there.
So, question for the panel, not us, the side chat. Does anybody know how to figure out what their altitude is? If you don't, I will give you the answer here in 15 seconds. Start a timer, Gil.
Give 'em-
Yeah,
give 'em
all right,
time to
everybody,
think.
answer up if you know how to find your altitude in side chat. Say yes or no. And I'm going to drop this down for a second because that's the only slide I had. And the last one was stay above the minimum pressure. But
everybody's so interactive on this one. All right, well, so
hang on, burying the beans, saying hi to each other. Ask Google. Hey, Lewis, how's it going?
Yes, you can do that. The next best way is if you have a cell phone, load Google Earth briefly and just pin your location. It'll tell you your exact altitude to the foot, and then you just look at the chart.
Yeah.
I know my altitude after I get to cruising height.
in writing my novels that I'm writing and stuff, I got to get altitudes for what's going on, what altitudes, the way the floodwaters were going and stuff like that. And I froze. So, my big thing was, it was simple as to like, boom, is right there. And you generally, it'll say right there, elevation, 4,590 feet where I'm at. Boom.
There you go.
So, so it's really, you can just type any city. Let me do another one. Basalt, Colorado. Elevation, 6,611 feet.
Nope, you're at like 14 pounds, 15.
Okay, hang on. Watch this.
Whatever the chart in the book says.
Okay, I'm going to see how well the AI works here, folks. Go up here. What is the canning pressure for beef in Colorado? It's trying to do stuff here. 10 pounds of pressure for air up to 1,000 feet, 15 for altitudes above, and 11 pounds of pressure at the 2,000. Digital, there's all the different type things on it. So this one here is just it's not getting it like it did when I did for me, because at mine it's 12 and a half pounds, but this was just the AI freaked out and it's defaulting to 15.
Yeah.
Which brings the thing is for me, the minimum is 12 and a half, but I can can at 15, no problem. There's
a difference between a gauge and the jiggler. Okay. So some pressure canners don't have a gauge at all. Then you go 10 or 5, 10 or 15 pounds. And that's your options. You have those 3 options, period. If you have a gauge, then you can fine tune it to your specific altitude.
Right. But you can always, going higher is not bad. Just don't exceed the maximum pressure of your pressure cooker, because then you wind up with something that the FBI might come to your house for.
Yeah. Well, nobody wants to have an accident. So you have to watch it. This is not something you can, just walk away from.
Yeah, it ain't a crock. It's not a crock pot.
Yeah, it's not a crock pot. You're not leaving your house. Now, can you leave the room? I can, because I can hear my gauge going, and I know.
See, I leave the room because I have a spare camera for my Arlo system. I put it on the pot next to it, and I pull it up on my freaking phone and just watch. I pull it up. I pull up the app like every couple minutes and just go live and just look at it. I'm like, yep. Oh wait, it's going up a little bit. Let me go back inside and readjust my heat. Stand there and stare at it for 5 minutes while it stabilizes. It's like, okay, now I can go down the basement and unload the freeze dryer, do whatever I got to do.
You've come to the right place.
You've come to the right place. As a water bather who learned to can in November, learned to pressure can in November of 23, and then did my second batch in the last month. Every time you do it, it gets easier. And with Tammy to help out, it was great. Now, here's the thing you guys can do, go with the cameras. So I have StreamYard, and I pay the thing, so I have unlimited streaming. The free version is 20 hours a month of streaming to YouTube or whatever, or as far as I know, unlimited private streaming.
Yeah, you can do like your test stream and have like 5 people in that. You can do like a Teams meeting on StreamYard.
Yes, exactly. Well, you can also, like I did, I had my my Kindle set up today in the kitchen, and I was watching the
gauge,
the pressure gauge while I was in here talking and doing stuff. Okay, I'm looking at, because one of these screens. Well, I'll give you an example here. So I'm doing something in there right now. I got 41 minutes left on my bread machine. Yes, I am. I have it in there. I am watching it on here. So I got 41 minutes left before my bread machine goes ding. You got a loaf done, sir. And so, yeah, it's if you have a camera setup, even if it's just a in-house Wi-Fi from one phone to another phone, you set one up on a tripod watching it, and you can just keep watching, checking it, so long as you check it. Repeat, so long as you check it often.
You can do it with your Apple. Well, I have Apples, so I could, and I do this when I hook up my trailer. Mm-hmm. I mount one of my phones or my iPad on top of my cap, looking down at my hitch, and I just call myself on Apple, whatever, the iVideo, and I video chat myself, and I can just watch the screen, and I can hook up my trailer without taking out yet another tail light. Anyway, or denting the tailgate or whatever. Yeah, I've had a few mishaps.
But anyways, all right. So we got a question. All right. So Penny says she's at 3,009. No, 393. 393. You're under 1,000, so you're 10 pounds.
Yep. And your jiggler won't jiggle until about 10.5 or 11.
Yeah, she might even be 5 pounds at that low of thing. But I'll have to look.
Oh, wait a minute. Question.
5 pounds listed anywhere.
Yeah, but.
Well, if you're in that one spot in Death Valley where you're how many 100 and some odd feet below sea level,
yeah,
that might be 5 pounds.
I know the 5 pound thing because we used to live in Florida. So sometimes when you're really at sea level, it's. Yeah. But so, again, you can always do 10. You can always go up. Just can't go below.
Yep. So to be clear, the reason, and nobody ever really talks about this, if you look at a gauge on a pressure canner, when you boil water under pressure, like say in the radiator of your car, which is running at 220 degrees in the summertime or 230, it's not boiling. It's under pressure. The pressure keeps it from actually boiling. So you're cooking in a pressure canner. You're doing it at say 10 PS or 10 pounds. Your cooking temperature, wait, let me look at my gauge here on my lid. So at 10 pounds, you are at 240 degrees. That's why you use pressure canners to preserve low acid foods and stuff like that, because you need the higher temperature, or you don't need it. You can do it in a shorter period of time at a higher temperature versus a shorter period of time, 3 hours or more. So, but that's why pressure canners caught on, is because now instead of standing there for 3 hours, making sure my water keeps boiling the whole time and keeping another pot of water, keep it topped off as it's steaming off, now I can put it in a pressure canner, put a certain amount of water in there, read the directions, and it's at 240 degrees. So that's why the times are not 3 hours, it's 90 minutes for like quarts of meat.
So Diana 2 is asking, do we all need the ball books, or is there one master blue book? Well, the blue book is the ball blue book.
An annual.
Yeah.
It's an annual.
You only need a canning guide that has the times tables for all the foods. So you could do the USDA guide, or you could do the ball blue book. Either one has all the altitude tables, the time tables, and recipes. So
And
either
when,
one
when
is
did they
fine.
change? When did they change the times in the Ball Blue Book? Like in the 40s?
1972.
Okay, so if you have a 1972 Ball Blue Book, even if you have an older one, you can reference back and forth. They're all anything low acid versus high acid.
And the only times they changed it, that 1972 mark, was the time, not you, Mark, but the like benchmark. They changed the times for fish. It was the same as meat, and then they made it longer. So instead of 90 minutes, they upped fish. They upped it to 110 minutes.
Right.
In that time. So that's really the only one that changed, was that one. And so, because how do I put fish are slimier now. Like, there are more bacteria in our oceans and our lakes now than what there were before. And so, to compensate for that, they up the time. Because when you are canning, I know this is going to drive everybody crazy. You are not sterilizing anything. You are sanitizing it, which means you are taking the preponderance of the bacteria out, but you do not get every single bacteria. You're just killing the majority of it, so that the food stays fresher longer.
Yeah, you're not taking it out, you're just killing it.
And I hate it when people say that they sanitize or they sterilize the jars. You cannot sterilize anything at home. I used to be the manager over several sterile processing units for several hospitals, and you cannot sterilize anything at home. You sanitize it, because the minute you take it out with your unsterilized equipment, you've touched it, you've now introduced bacteria to the outside of the jar. If the seal isn't already sealed, it can go in the jar. Bugs move at the speed of light. That's the principle in the operating room. So you are sanitizing things. You are not sterilizing anything. You're not taking them out with sterile gloves. You're not using sterile equipment to take them out of your canner. You are just sanitizing your jars. Soapbox done. Sorry.
Okay, hang on. I'm looking something up here for somebody. And a question in there. Ontario.
My wife must be running like 3 things inside right now because my signal just went to crap.
Oh, that was me earlier. My son, I was live with Gil on the computer, and there was no internet to the computer because my son was on the VR.
Yeah, I was going to say, he was home today, wasn't he?
Yes, because he didn't. One school didn't have school because he goes to 2 different schools.
Okay. Here's the answer. Here's the answer to Lewis's question. It says 78 meters or 256 feet.
10 pounds.
10 pounds.
10 pounds. Yeah. All right. Now, why I got this up here, let's switch over here. So this is the USDA. The 2020 printing hasn't changed.
And they do not do that very often. So you're not going to have I don't think you'll have a newer one. I think that is the newest one.
The revision was 2015.
Yeah. So it's not changing. See, it doesn't change.
And so that's that one there. And so paperback is $13.95. Hardcover is $19.77. And you could probably look around and find it. Go look for enter the complete guide to home canning, but about current printing PDF, and just print it off.
Shouldn't that be in the Library of Congress where you can look at it?
It is.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
So here's
you can also go to your local library and print off some of these. That book is good for recipes, but they're kind of hoity-toity.
Yeah.
So
not very flavorful. Don't want to offend anybody. Yeah.
This is not the blue book. This is not the book I'm recommending.
I know this one when I got into Amazon, entered in blue Ball Blue Book canning. This is the one that came up.
Yeah.
Now
that one's about that big.
I got that one.
That is not it either, but it's closer. It's about that thick which is slightly thicker than the Ball Blue Book, has more recipes. Do not get hung up on the covers because really the insides don't change that much.
Yeah. No, all they do is add advertisements.
Yeah.
Got to pay for it.
So if you can find it, one that's 1972 or older used, it's not going to, you know.
And so, so Blue Book Guide to Preserving, came up. This is what I came up with.
There it is.
Which
at
one?
Walmart, right there, the green one from Walmart at 14 something.
Yeah, all right. So the Blue Book is no longer blue. Somebody got in there with a DEI and said, "Oh, let's change the color."
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm a bad boy.
But that's the most current one. They do a new one every year. The only thing that changes is the cover. And like recipes fall in and out of fashion. Right now, and this is crazy, but people are like, there's no cabbage recipes in this one because people are not as big of fans of cabbage as what they were 40 years ago. So you're not going to find the recipes for cabbage in that one. You have to read the fine print where it says how to do all greens and stuff. So you're not going to find the same recipes necessarily because they come in and out of fashion, but they're all
I'll be right back. I got 2 books to grab.
You're doing cabbage. Learn how to ferment and just make sauerkraut.
Yeah. See, things with fermenting are so much better for your gut and so much better for your health. Canning is great, and people ask me this question all the time too. Your body is not designed to eat processed foods 24/7. So while canning is great, and I eat a lot of canning, I also eat a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables, a lot of fresh things in season. Canning is not meant to replace eating fresh foods, and it's just meant to supplement through the hungry time. It's, where you don't have a garden.
Can your leftover harvest to make it through the winter season until your garden starts growing again. That's pretty much the only reason why it ever became a thing, because they needed a better way to preserve their food through the winter months.
I've just been doing a bunch of research on medieval processing, and boy, did these people have it right down to a science. We're still learning from the way they processed food in the medieval times to the way they designed the castles for airflow so that those lower rooms got the airflow they needed to preserve food. It's amazing. I had no idea how the castles were designed. The architecture was designed actually to do the food storage so people could live. Like, if you don't have food, you don't live. It's one of those 3 requirements,
All right.
China's starving to death.
All right. I got to do something here. So don't freak out, people. I got to go here, and I'm going to... Oh, okay, that's gone for a second because you'll see why.
So
the pressure's on.
This came with the that canner that we received as a gift. And what's interesting is this line on the back, and I'll read it to you. Wisconsin Aluminum Foundry Company, Inc. So the Wisconsin Aluminum Foundry, Inc. was the owner of All American Canning originally. Yeah. The other one I had to show, and this is why I had to take it out, was because the green on this one here.
There you go. The old Presto book.
That's
Presto
a Presto book cooker.
Or is that 60s, 50s? I can't read it.
1946.
I still got my mom's 32 ball blue book. I've put pages of that on Rebel canners back in the day.
So this is 1946, and let me get back in here to get that big ugly greenery away from me. There we go.
Your skin looks much better now.
I've never heard that, Penny. Says it's true you should not can mushrooms either in a bath can or a pressure canner. I've never heard that.
No, that's not true. You can can mushrooms.
Yeah.
They've never tested wild mushrooms or foraged mushrooms. So I think maybe what you are hearing is about wild mushrooms or foraged mushrooms because there's no testing of those.
Yeah.
I have canned those because I figure if I can eat those, I can can those. So,
Yep.
and I use the same time as the other mushrooms, but that's
All right.
personal to me. And I
There
don't
we
do that with everything because some things you want to cook the I can't think of what's the word I'm looking for, Mark? I don't want to say toxins because that's not it, but some things you do want to cook and let that evaporate and escape, and I can't think of what it is, but it's sort of it goes hand in hand with toxins. If you don't cook your mushrooms well enough, they can make you sick, and so
wild mushrooms, not the ones you buy at the store because they're pretty much shiitake or button whites, and you can just eat those raw.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Mother Earth said she made yogurt yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
And so Tammy said she's wanting to make yogurt. Now, here's the interesting thing. I'm going to see if I can bring it up here again real quick here. Number 12. Can't hardly read it there, but number 12 on the right-hand column says yogurt. So my new bread canner does yogurt.
I have made yogurt I had a bread machine. I don't have it anymore. It died. It gave up the ghost. That thing, I put that out on the porch and I would make bread every day in the winter or in the summer even when I would do soups for lunches. But the Instant Pot also has a yogurt setting.
Yeah.
So if you own an Instant Pot that's
what Tammy Harder said, but she has that she wants to try it in her Instant Pot. Now the other little book I want to show you, you can download it on Rebel Canner's Facebook page. I poke it. I got to stop poking at them because they got rid of their fake checkers. So
Mark Zuckerberg's favorite color is not orange, and he doesn't want to wear it for the rest of his life. So he decided that maybe we could all be trusted to have an opinion.
All right. So here's the thing you can download. Somebody in Tammy's group over there on Facebook uploaded the PDF of the 1945 her canning book. Victory! Yes. War bond. Wait. There's the war bond by war bonds. Yeah. Now, like Tammy says, the times in this that changed was for fish.
Yes.
So you got to realize that some of these old ones, there are certain things like fish and stuff. It's okay. There's more bacteria. We need to up.
Go ahead. Oh, he froze. I got to stop for a second. While we're talking about fish. Okay. I'm going to bring up the B word. It's going to be the only time we talk about it.
I'm going to shoot you down. I'm going to shoot you down. Don't make me send you one of my memes. I got them all still.
Before the CDC website went down for revision, I went through and counted all of their recorded records on what was the most common, only on the home can section. I didn't have time for the store-bought section. That's way longer, and I wasn't going there. Wasn't looking at them. But on the home canning section, they had it divided out, and the number one thing for botulism is fermented fish that they then canned. So if you ferment your fish when you ferment foods, you're raising the levels of bacteria, hopefully the good bacteria, but you are growing bacteria on purpose when you do a ferment. And then they canned it. And that was the number one in Alaska fermented fish that was then canned. Okay, so you don't have to, we're not having a fear-mongering session about botulism because I think the highest recorded number since they started recording it sometimes in the 60s for home canned foods in a year, the highest number of incidences, which is an individual person who got it, was 24 from home canned food. 24 people. That's the highest in a year. So when people throw that out there, oh, you're going to get it every time you do something. Yes, you have to follow the instructions, which means following the pressure, following the time, using the correct method for low acid, high acid. But you do not have to fear that. Unless you're canning fermented fish in Alaska. Then you need to be more cautious, I guess. I don't know what to say about that.
Just smoke the fish and dry it.
Yeah, smoke your fish and dry it. Yeah. Or
some
fermented
things
and eat
are
it
not meant to
fermented.
be. Yeah, some things are not meant to be fermented. Yeah, and obviously.
Well, oh, now look, Visca's very, very good. You can, but just still eat it at the fermented phase. Don't try to preserve it after that phase.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and you cannot preserve away bacteria out of bad food.
No.
That's why read your Ball Blue Book, and at it says use fresh, unblemished, very good quality fruits and meats and things. You cannot make bad food better by cooking it, canning it, freeze drying it, nothing. If it was bad to begin with, it's going to be bad in a year, 2, 5, 10, 25. It's going to be bad. You can't preserve bad food to make it good.
People say, could I can this? It's been in my refrigerator 3 days. Can I can it? And here's what I say. Would you eat it right now? If it has gone bad and you wouldn't eat it, don't can it to try to preserve it.
You can't fix it.
You can't fix it. It's not going to do that. So you need to use your freshest ingredients, and do I cut a bad spot out of a tomato here and there? Yes.
No, so do I.
Does that put me at risk for that jar or that batch of tomatoes spoiling? Yes. Use the freshest food. Yeah. Store-bought yogurt doesn't even have a lot of it. Here, I'm going to go get, let me see. I have some yogurt in the other room that gets sent home from the school for my son. They have this nutrition program and everybody gets it at his school. So it's not based on income. It's just everybody gets these little packets of food and they get to take them home for the weekend. Everybody eats. And they have yogurt in there that is irradiated. It doesn't even have active cultures. It's shelf stable.
It's been nuked, so there's nothing in there live.
There's nothing living. Your food is dead.
Just to fill you up and make sure that you had food in your belly.
Here's the thing though, but that's not, okay. 98% of our immune system comes from the bacteria in our gut. If we are not feeding the bacteria that we are a symbiote with in our gut, we have poor nutrition. We have a bad immune system, period. So if you're not feeding yourself those live active yogurt cultures, you're not feeding yourself those fermented foods, you're not feeding your gut bacteria, you are not a healthy individual. It's just the science. Yeah. So, don't eat that yogurt. Get the good stuff with the live lactobacillus and acidophilus.
So my wife misses her old gas stove with pilot lights because she can make her yogurt, put it over the pilot light overnight, put the lid on it, don't talk, don't make any noises, all that stuff. And in the morning, she had fresh yogurt ready to go. And then they would save some. And then 2 days later, her and her dad would make another batch out of the same yogurt. It was the same culture over and over. It's like a sourdough starter.
Yeah. When my kids were younger and I was on the women, infants and children's program, we were getting more milk because I had so many under 5. We were getting more milk than we could use. I was making yogurt. And then at that point, we had those little cups you'd put it in, but I had more milk than I could. So I was doing the water in the crock pot, and then another pan inside the water in the crock pot on low, and then cover the whole thing with towels and blankets and turn it off and leave it all covered with blankets. It's so much easier now.
Yeah. One of the things to, for like, what was it? Gray Wolf Outdoors. Don't be afraid of it. Start simple. Like I don't have the proper picture up here from it, but when I did the American Canner and I worked on it, I got a couple of videos over on Gray Man Prepping that just recently this week, where I changed out the petcock valve for a jiggler. So it goes. I tested it, and to test it, I did 2 jars of water, put it in there, ran it up, did the whole thing on it, washed it, tested the gauge, and watched the gauge go. made sure it was above the even though it was just water, I had made sure it was above 12.5 pounds, and it came down. Pressure came down. Everything was nice. It was easy.
When you buy a brand new canner, the very first thing it tells you in that instruction manual to do is to run a load of water in your jars. And like Mark said earlier, you don't have to seal the jars. If you don't want to waste a lid, don't waste a lid. But I like to have some sterile water on my shelf. I like to have water in my pantry for emergencies. But you can just run it. And that's how you run it. And by doing that, you'll get comfortable. And then the next time you do something with food in it,
If you really want to be creative, you use a wide mouth quart jar, fill it up a halfway or a little bit more. There you go. Fill it up halfway or a little bit more with gauze pads or good cotton cloths. Put the water in there. Then throw a pair of the hemostat clamps, the surgical clamps. Throw a pair. They're stainless, and it's good stainless. It won't rust. Throw those in it because they sterilize those and reuse those all the time. Throw a pair of those in there. Can it. Now you got a sterile, bacteria-free, sterile, whatever you want to call it.
Sanitize.
You open it.
Yeah, well, that's why you have the don't put too much water in there, so you can grab the handles off your clamps, and you can grab pretty well sterilized gauze pads with water in it to clean wounds and stuff like that. I just went down a whole different rabbit hole. Sorry about that.
That's okay. But yeah, you can do something like that. Even you can go to the dollar store and get washcloths and even put them in and do it. And you can do a water solution or a salt solution.
Just use cotton. Don't use nylon, Teflon.
100% cotton. 100% cotton. But then you have something to clean a wound with. So, like the kids come in and they've rode their bike and they've scraped their knee clear from their shin to their chin. You can wipe them down with something sterile.
Yeah. Sorry, I had flashbacks when my brother and we were in preteen, so like 10, 11, 12 on our swing bikes. All right, you got to understand, my grandfather catered to the motion picture studio. My mom was one of the cooks. We went out with my mom in the summertime to movie locations. We wanted to be stuntmen. We had our bikes. We had 2x4 ramps. We used to do all sorts of crazy crap.
So, see, you know what I mean? You know what I mean by skinning your knee from your shin to your chin?
No, I know about taking all the meat off my elbow.
I've done that in sand and grit and dirt and things that, I don't know. Yeah. You walk in the house and you're half dead and your mom says,
walk it off.
Take it off.
Go rinse it off with the garden hose. Get the blood out of my house.
I go, don't be dripping that in the house here. I just cleaned.
Okay, side chat here, real quick here. There's some things I wanted to throw up here real quick. You want real vanilla.
Yes.
Madagascar
is one of the better real vanillas.
And it's really expensive these days.
But if you can don't do that. Go to Indiri Vanilla, and you can even buy them on Amazon. Get the vanilla beans, throw 4 or 5 vanilla beans in a pint of vodka, and you can have perpetual vanilla, where you just keep making your own. When you run out, add a little more vanilla. If it starts to taste weak, add some more beans. What was it? Ina Garden says her vanilla has been going for 25 years. You literally can use the same container, and that's all vanilla is vanilla beans that have soaked for 6 months or so in
alcohol.
You can also use, if you don't want to use alcohol, you can also use glycerin, but it's harder to extract all the goodness out of the beans.
Yep. And so Sandy bought a 7-jar yogurt maker years ago. See,
and I see those all the time at Goodwill. Very cheap.
Yeah. There we go. And on Amazon, it's $29 for her that thing.
But But if you go to Mexico, you can get Mexican vanilla really super cheap.
Yeah.
Bring it back. It's really good.
No, I'm good. Now I'm being comical here. So the vanilla from Mexico, it's made with tequila.
Probably. Probably, yes. You just need 80 proof. You just need something that's 80 proof. So, and the more tasteless, the better. So you don't really need like expensive alcohol either. You can use whatever's cheap and on sale.
Get the cheap 100 proof vodka or whatever. Or you can even, if you really want to. And it's ironic that Everclear is actually really cheap for 95%. So it's like 180 proof alcohol. Sure, I use that sometimes to make like limoncello and that, extract stuff out, and I'll just mix that with some water and honey and that.
The same thing. You can use the not the peel, but the zest, lemon zest, orange zest. You could do your own
orange extract, lemon extract, lime extract. Yeah.
And here, this drives me crazy, but we're on this rabbit hole. Just so you know, I know this will just make everybody's little things go off. You cannot make almond extract with almonds.
Why not?
I'll say that again. Almond extract is not made with almonds. So if you see a video with somebody and then they never tell you how it turned out, it's because it tastes like bad.
So come on, pressure's on. How do I make almond extract there?
When you're canning your stone fruits, your peaches, your cherries, the ones with the pits, your plums, take off that outer coating of the plums or the peaches, those little things that look like almonds in there, or your cherry pits, those are what they make almond extract with. And so there you go.
Lewis, basically moonshine. Yeah, that's Everclear. That's Everclear.
That's Everclear. Yeah, perfect.
Real moonshine, not the crap you buy in the store, which is like 40 proof.
No, not store bought, not those flavored things. You want flavorless.
You want the alcohol they use in racers almost. That the moonshine racers use.
Yeah, just the clear, pure. Nothing else, because you don't want it to flavor your vanilla. Now, some people do use bourbons and rums. If you get into the vanilla groups, they will be purporting all the different spiced rum or whatever. I am not into all that. Rocket fuel. I am just into the plain, regular. I want my vanilla to taste like vanilla. So, Everclear, vodka, whatever you have.
Going back to Dr. Paula's video where she was open kettling
her applesauce. She puts bourbon
applesauce. She had put her added vanilla at the beginning, I believe, but then she added the bourbon at the end.
Well, you don't want the alcohol to evaporate out. Come on.
All right. So, hang on. I want to look at something here.
Yeah, I was watching that video going, you're a little more rebel than I am. Like, just a little more.
Yeah. I'm frozen. So, if you're going to pressure can for the first time and you've already water bathed, you have a little bit of an idea about making sure the times are right, making sure your jars are filled. You've got all that stuff down. But when you're pressure canning, you're just adding the pressure. You got to make sure your pressure is right and make sure you follow the times for your pressure canner.
And if your pressure drops for whatever reason, say the gas goes off in your stove,
start again.
You have to start from the very beginning. That time starts over. So you have to keep it up to pressure, or you have to start your 90 minutes starts all over again.
Yeah, now
that's a big question to get into.
If you drop below 10 psi for 30 seconds, whatever, That doesn't mean you have to. Don't pull the top off and vent it for 10 minutes.
No.
That just means you just got to bring it back up to pressure and start the timer again. I remember reading somebody about that. I'm like, do not pull the freaking. And when it's done, you shut the heat off and you let that sucker come down to 0 and then give it another 5-10 minutes. Because if you take the cap off and there's still like a half a PSI in there that wasn't on the gauge, you're going to have a little bit of siphoning going on in your jars because it's going to release the pressure too quick, and you're going to get all kinds of just dribbles and drools of food in your canner. So
what some of the things I discovered this week. So this is my Presto, and the American All American are different thickness of aluminum for the manufacture of it.
Yep.
The All American is thicker. It took longer for it to come up to pressure.
Yeah.
Because it had to heat all that aluminum up. Cooling down, it took longer for it to cool down.
Don't put it outside. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't put a fan on
it today, I turned on. I got in my kitchen. I got a fan up at one end for when I'm boiling water here to humidify the house, and it blows the ceiling air down the hallway towards me. Then on the other side by the dining room on the floor, I have a small box fan. Well, I turned that on low and just kind of slowly caused the cooler air from the dining room to come in to cool off the kitchen, which was now hot. So it brought it back down from 74 down to 68 degrees. And so it helped it cool off. It cooled it off about 5 minutes quicker.
Right. I want to say something right here though. Okay. So the jars are not being tempered like they were unless you're buying them from Azure Standard or Superb. You're not getting the tempered glass that you were getting 5-10 years ago. So glass safety. Let's talk about that for a minute for newbies. Mm-hmm. When you take them out of your canner, you're going to put them on something. You're not going to put them on your cold marble countertop. You're going to set down some towels. You're going to have a nice thermal pad there to put them on. You may even cover them with a towel to let them set. You do not open. It's the middle of winter right now. If I take hot jars out of my canner, set them on the counter, and I open the door where it's 10 degrees outside, they're going to all crack, break, and be gone. I've lost some dishes that way. Somebody thought they were going to cool the house down quicker, and they opened the door. There goes my thumbs up again. They opened the door to the outside and drastically changed the temperature. I had a cold draft come through. So you're going to protect those jars from any cold drafts, like sudden temperature changes. And you're just going to let them sit for 24 hours, and you're not going to touch them. Do not poke the little lids to see if they have sealed or not. It doesn't matter whether they sealed when you pull them out of the jar. They're going to go up and down for 24 hours, and you leave them. You don't touch them for 24 hours.
All right. This afternoon. Ooh, wow, my shirt changed. My shirt looks like it changed color. It's the same shirt. All right. So I am pulling it out of the canner on a double layered all cotton towel. And so, I'm using the tool. I'm getting it down below the shoulder lip on there. So I'm not pulling up on the ring itself.
And straight up, straight down.
Not turning sideways.
No.
And do it slowly, because if you're trying to be in a hurry and you smack that jar on the edge of your canner, you're making a mess. I did one that happened to me. I was in a hurry because I had like a double stacked quartz, and I just wanted them out because I had things to do. And I, like, the third one caught the edge of the thing and just trashed my stove. I'm like, well, looks like I'm not doing anything else today except cleaning up the mess.
All right.
And then washing jars when you're done.
Then I went the towel over it on the one side, tucked it in a little bit. Towel on the other side, protected it from any breeze.
Yep.
And then I put another towel over the top of everything. And that's the way it's sitting right now. From then, it's still warm. It's slowly cooling down. And while I was working there, I could hear ding.
Now,
ding.
While we're on this point, after 24 hours, if you find a jar, when you go check them at 24 hours, if you find a jar that has not sealed, the bacteria in that jar has been killed down to a very minimal level of bacteria. You can then put that jar either back in the canner and reprocess it, or you can refrigerate it and eat it. It is perfectly safe, even though it sat out over 24 hours. And yes, Mark and I both have went to the little school of food safety, and they say not to have it set out. This is the one time, like, I love exceptions to the rules. Go figure, I'm a rebel. This is the one time that it's an exception to that food safety rule. You can then refrigerate it and eat it or reprocess it. It's perfectly safe to do that.
Now, if you go to your pantry to get some tomato sauce and one of those jars is not sealed anymore, throw it out, because it's probably been down there for anywhere from a week or more, months, years in my case, and you find one that's not sealed, you might want to take it outside and open it, because you probably don't want that whatever's growing in there in your house.
Yeah. If it's a newer jar, one of these new cheapy jars, just go ahead and don't even worry about open. Throw it away. Don't even worry about it. But if it's a really old one, one of the ones that you can tell is one of the freezer canning jars, then you get a respirator and you clean it out and do it.
And just
those things are worth more than a whole case of new jars. One jar of the old ones.
And you just throw a cap of bleach. If you really are like freaked out that you might have some, I don't know, the B word.
Yeah.
Bacteria in there, then just put a cap of bleach in your dishwasher or dishwater, and it'll be fine. Trust me.
All right.
You just fill it up in your sink and dribble a little bleach in there with some hot water. Scrub it out with a sponge. You kill it. If there was anything left in there.
All right. I'm going to do something here, folks. Don't freak out. But I'm bringing this one up. I'm going to go in there, so I'm going to take this picture down, and I'm just going to go in there.
Oh, he just wants to show off his bread.
He wants to make me hungry because I took a nap and I didn't eat dinner.
Where's CR?
CR, I know how you feel. Phil's doing it to me now.
Okay, so it's on 0 time. So let me move some things around here in the kitchen. And I'm going to back this up a little bit. Actually, I'm going to back it up a lot. I got to do the legs on it. So excuse me while I lower the legs on the camera here.
I think I'm gonna make a loaf of bread this weekend, because I miss making my artisan,
Here, give me some room.
Artisan bread where you don't have to constantly knead it and fold it. No, I just fold it over like 4 times every 3 hours, like 3 times, and then it just goes in the oven. Big air bubbles, smells great, tastes awesome.
Well, I got that new food processor.
Yes. Glove. My favorite thing in the kitchen. My wife's too.
He can't hear us. We can talk about him.
Oh, look, Facebook just popped up a message. General somebody just sent me a friend request. It's amazing how many fake generals want to be my friends on Facebook.
Hang on, I gotta grab something out of here. I found this works really good. Mark, do not get crazy on it. This one is rubber, not hard. It's rubberized and it's got a piece of steel in it. That's why it doesn't play stuff the normal ones.
Shouldn't be sticking, just pop it out.
Per the instructions. It's not sticking on the sides.
Yeah, the crust is the best part, Mark. He doesn't want to lose the crust.
Oh, I know, but you guys still got to pull the impeller out of the bottom of the loaf.
He's got a sweet little tool to do that.
Nice loaf. The only thing was wrong. It had a big air bubble under the top skin, and it touched the the thing. It had a big air bubble. I went ahead and did a 2-pounder, but for some reason it likes getting a big bubble at the very top. And then to remove the piece here, I'm gonna, okay, and where did I put the little cut piece thing here? Hang on. I set my stuff around here in the weird spot. Oh, there it is. It was on the. It was over here on the stove part here.
Was it like a strawberry stem puller? You
This
just
is a
reach
tool
in there.
specifically for this.
It looks like a church key.
So I don't destroy the bottom of it. And there's my paddle.
Cool.
And I'm going to let it cool this time before it goes. So I'm coming back in there.
Yeah, the grandkids are smelling that. They'll be over in about 5 minutes, and that loaf will be gone.
Why do you think he waited till now? They were there earlier.
I guess I can leave that up.
Can
But
the grandkids smell it yet?
I don't know, but they're across the street. Wind is, let me check the weather here. The wind currently is 15 miles an hour from the south. No, the wind's blowing from them to me, so they won't smell
You're
it.
safe. Your bread is safe.
I'm safe. Wait. Do I hear footsteps outside? Maybe not. And all that little hook thing is to hook the paddle and just pull it out. But I cut across it there so it's not kind of take out a big chunk. The first time I did it, I saw the whole area around it trying to lift up. So I did a cross cut like that and just. Now if you notice it, but it came out right out that the place where I cut, because you can generally tell where it is, and it stops it. I like this. It stops it at a 90-degree angle to it. So it's either going to be this way or this way. Not at a 45. It's going to be at one of those angles. So you just make a nice cut, lifts right out.
Cool.
So yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah, Lewis is like, great. Now I want bread. And now I'm going to make a loaf over the weekend. Maybe I'll record that and throw it up there. But so many people make bread. It's like whatever. It's like a 6-hour process.
Because we all like to watch it every time, Mark.
Yeah.
You could make 10 videos about making bread. People would still watch every single one.
Yeah,
of them.
I know.
Yeah. So this link is to what I did this afternoon. And during the one this afternoon, let me see if I can get this other thing back up here or not. There we go. We were looking at the different types of the old ancient breads. And so I have a thing here. Let me see if I can get it up here. Wish list. And that's now under a new topic. I have a new topic, a new wish list called wheat berries and flour in my Amazon. And so this is my wheat berries and flour wish list. And I didn't move the icorn over here. Okay, that's okay. I can get it real quick here. Watch this. It's gonna go flour. Boom. All right, so I got one of these. My daughter's made one loaf of bread with it. This is a 10-pound bag. And my daughter made one loaf over at her house. And where's the wheat berries? And boom. I saved it. I just saved it over there. But this is the low gluten index, unbleached, unpromated, there it is right there in green circle there. Glyphosate residue free, non-GMO. And so I'm going to be picking that up tomorrow for the next batch of flour. I will leave this one. I'll take this one over there to the grandkids tomorrow, and I'll grab the good flour. Bring the good flour back.
Give the kids the glyphosate. That's fine. They'll outgrow it. I'm not eating that crap though. Yeah.
And feed your gut. Do not feed your gut that. the glycophosphate. Feed
Yeah.
it einkorn.
The other one, I can't remember what the other one was. One of the at the time, my daughter and I bought a bunch of bags up at Sam's Club. We bought it at Sam's Club, and they weren't the normal all-purpose Pillsbury flour. They were one of the other ones. They might have been one of the, because they were more expensive, but they might have been the glyphosate free.
Say it with me, You and Joe. You must have taught Joe, or Joe taught you how to say it, because I corrected him like 9 times on his live feed the other day, and he just responded on a message saying, "Yeah, I got it." I'm like, "No, you don't. You're all going to say glyphosate." It's like, it's no
glyphosate. All right. Anyways, there's because I know some of the stuff around here, some of the farmers are pushing to get rid of it. And of course, the company's pushing back with fake ads. Anyways, so it may be that one, I can't remember what it is now because it was the more expensive one. I got to check it out. But anyways, yeah, they've been eating that stuff for years now. But yeah, so I'm going to take that one over there. I'm going to bring this one back here so this one here. It's easier on my stomach, and it's going to be lower index, so it won't have as high a sugar spike. But yeah, that's some of the fun stuff. Let's see.
Yeah. I'm glad I'm hearing that there.
It's even colder for Mother Earth Garden Club. She's in the minuses right now and dropping. Yeah. Oh, man. And that's Fahrenheit, not centigrade, folks.
I'm at 28, and it's annoying. But anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so before we cut out of here, I just got someone responded to one of my things here. Let me bring up the schedule coming up here. So tomorrow night on Gray Man Prepping, my other channel, for those that don't know, the topic is lithium batteries, quality matters, and we're going to be talking about a lot of scientific stuff and things. Be careful of your super cheap batteries. Look into the company before you buy. See what type of stuff they're doing. Thursday is the midnight ride on Gray Man Prepping. And it's 10 o'clock Eastern, so because midnight down in South America somewhere. And actually, the midnight ride started at 9 o'clock, folks. Anyways, the Friday night here on Camppatton on the compound is Homestead Focus. Going to talk about, do you want to try starting out with everything? Do you want to focus on one thing or two things, complementary things? And that's what we're going to be talking about on Friday. Saturday on Gray Man Prepping, Survival Saturday. The topic is, what is your dream specialty gear? Mark already has his. He has his freeze dryer, so he's got his dream specialty gear. I don't have it yet. I am so jealous. Tammy's jealous too. And so next Monday, though, here, Monday night, next Monday, canning ground beef with flavorings. Y'all know what mine is. It's taco seasoning, but it could be onion soup beef mixed into it. You could have several different ones. And I know my wife is going to want to do some with onion soup mix in it, some with taco seasoning in it, some with some others in it. So she has assortment of pre-staged base stuff for meals ready to go to make it simpler.
Or just ground beef by itself. Hey, I've done that.
Yeah, that too. Or ground beef. You ready for this one, Mark?
Sure.
Ground beef with crumbled bacon in with it too.
Yeah.
I know, Captain. I know that Commander Bacon's going, yes, bacon.
my meat sauce, which is literally in Italy, they just call it gravy, is we use half ground beef, half ground lean pork, which I grind loins. I get a whole loin. I just run a grinder, put it in 1 pound bags, freeze it. And then, that's our meat sauce has ground beef, ground pork, and then onions and celery and other stuff in there. It's a chunky home style Italian gravy, red gravy.
There is a company for you guys that's called 50/50. They make hamburger. I mean, it's like the McDonald's one. Or Fuddruckers. It's more of a small thing. It's 50% beef, 50% bacon. They make their patties, cook it up, and stuff like that. Well, thinking about it, if I have a wide mouth jar, or even a half
pint and a half,
a half-gallon jar, and I make my patties, my 50/50 patties myself, with a piece of parchment paper between each one of them, I can can my hamburgers, my 50/50 hamburgers, and it comes time to do it.
You use the ring as your cookie cutter for those patties, and when you saute them just a little bit before you put them in there so that they hold shape, they will fit down in your wide mouth jar.
Yeah, they shrink up a little bit.
Yeah,
Just
and and if you want, you can add a little beef broth to it to keep it all nice and moist. Pour that beef broth off to make some sauce or something for them. But you have it there for. If I do a quart jar, I'm gonna have several of them in there. It's going to be for birthdays or something like that. Especially when the grandkids wants special grandpa's hamburgers.
Yeah, try one. Make one jar first. Can it, cool it, open it, eat it. Make sure you like it, because you do get some minor flavor changes when you don't let the gases and things release when you're cooking it. Tammy and I discussed this a long time ago with chicken, and I couldn't figure it out. It just has this weird flavor when I can it, or odor. It almost smells like, I say sulfur, but it's not. But you leave it open for a while and cook it, it goes away. But it's like canned tuna fish. It just has my canned chicken had some weird background flavor that now that I've tried it, I can't untaste it. As soon as I open a jar of chicken, I don't like it. I'm like, nope, not eating it.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what we're going to be talking about next Monday is, hamburger and different ways of doing it. So, if you have a recipe or something you want to share, be here next Monday and share it with us, please.
Yes.
All right. So, Tammy, are you going to be going live this week?
I might try to do something Wednesday. I have Wednesday off.
Okay.
And I don't know about Friday yet. It'll depend on things. But
yeah, I know Corky's not feeling well right now. She just posted on Facebook. She's really under the weather again.
Yeah. So it's up in the air. We might not. We'll see.
Keep an eye out.
Yeah. But I'm definitely going to try to do something on Wednesday, but it won't be right at noon or 1 o'clock because I have an appointment at noon. Other than that, I'm free all day Wednesday, so we'll see what we can do.
All righty, folks. All right. Thanks everybody for coming in here. And we will hopefully I'll see you tomorrow on Grain Man Prepping. And Wednesday we'll see Tammy. All right, everyone. Take care.
Have a good night.